All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one. On this video, I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns unofficial depth chart, because that's how they're labeling it, unofficial depth chart. And it has Shedeur. We're not surprised by this. It has him as the fourth string quarterback. But what's surprising is they signed another quarterback. And get this, they said the Browns signing quarterback Tyler Huntley, with Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett both nursing hamstring injuries. So it could be a lot more to this story, but we're going to get into it. Stay tuned. So first off, let's get into, I'm going to give my thoughts on the fourth string quarterback situation with Shedeur Sanders. It says where Sanders rank on the Browns depth chart. Cleveland's first unofficial depth chart for the 2025 season, preseason list, Joe Flacco as QB1. I'm not surprised by that. He's a 19-year veteran. Followed by Kenny Pickett. I'm not surprised by Kenny Pickett as well, because they traded for Kenny Pickett. This is even before they brought in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And then they list Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur being the fourth string. Gabriel is ahead of Sanders despite being rookies, and Flacco remains the presumed week one starter. Depth chart and evaluation. This is what I'm interested in. The depth chart placement has surprised many, given Sanders' college accolades and early projections. It underscores Cleveland's emphasis on experience and Gabriel's strong camp performance. Strong camp performance. We've already looked at the numbers already. Shedeur is number one on the numbers. So this is not really making sense. Cleveland's radio host Ken Carman defended the organization, insisting the Browns aren't sabotaging Sanders and that he's receiving a fair opportunity amid depth chart turbulence. On the flip side, owner Jimmy Haslam distanced himself from drafting Sanders, clarifying it was GM Andrew Berry's decision, which some interpret as a lack of full backing of the rookie. Trade speculation and injury update. With Pickett injured and Gabriel out with minor issues as well, Sanders has drawn increased reps, but was recently held out with shoulder soreness, intensifying trade rumors linking him to teams like the Colts. Sanders continues training with personal coach Darryl Colbert in Miami and remains focused in camp despite limited opportunities. He's also requesting, they said he's working out in Miami. I don't know about that. So as of right now, he's positioned as QB4, and I'm going to come back to that. But here's what's interesting. The Browns signing Tyler Huntley. Now it says the Browns are signing an old friend from last season and quarterback Tyler Huntley in the wake of a hamstring injuries to Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel. Huntley, who will join the Browns in Carolina on Tuesday for a joint practice with the Panthers on Wednesday, will play in the preseason opener there on Friday night. So let's stop right there. Here's the situation. Shedeur needs a lot of reps in preseason. I'm not sure if he's going to get those reps because Tyler Huntley is coming. So I'm assuming for the preseason, it's going to be Dillon Gabriel and Tyler Huntley getting the most reps. And at this point, I want to say this. At this point, everybody that supports Shedeur, and we're kind of like, we're looking at the. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have the screenshot here. I may have it. Actually, I do. So it says Joe Flacco, 54 for 92. Out of 92 reps, he completed 54. 58.7 completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kenny Pickett, he was out of 34 attempts, he completed 23 out of 34 attempts. His completion percentage is 67.6, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Dillon Gabriel, he had the most reps at 113. He completed 62 out of 113 reps. His completion percentage is 54.9%. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Shedeur Sanders, he had 70 reps. He made 49 out of 70 for a 70% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. What is the problem here? How come this guy is not at least 3 on the depth chart? So one thing that we're seeing play out here is the numbers don't lie, and we're all seeing what Shedeur can do. The numbers are not lying. We see what he can do. We saw what he was doing in college. In fact, he might be wearing it a little bit, because he said in his press conference that, did you see me in Colorado? Yeah, well, I'm still the same guy. He's trying to prove himself. He's in a point in his life. Where I wanted to say this, but I had to think about this. And let me ask you about this statement right here, because I heard this. Shedeur, this is the first time in his life that he has to prove himself. Think about that statement for a second. How do you feel about it? It's not a closed-in statement here. Let me tell you why. This is not the first time that he had to prove himself. He had to prove himself on the HBCU level. He had to prove himself when he went to Colorado. You know how they say, oh, he transitioning from the HBCU, let's see. So he had to prove himself in Colorado. He had to perform, and he did perform. So this is not the first time that he has proven himself. And I just wanted to say that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. Let me know for sure about that comment. This is not the first time he's been proving himself. He had to. I mean, coming from the HBCU, yeah, he had to prove himself, because you know how people try to minimize the HBCU, like Sweetness, Walter Payton didn't come from the HBCU. He did. In fact, Jackson State. Aaron McNair, rest in peace to Steve Aaron McNair. He came from the HBCU. I don't know, guys. I'm thinking about this with Shedeur. Obviously, you have to play the cards, the hand that you're dealt in life, and that's what he's doing. A lot of people are saying that there possibly could be trade rumors. We're going to see. We're definitely going to see. And I know who could really use him right now. That's New Orleans. They really could use him. They really can. But now that they brought in another quarterback, I guess they're thinking that they're not sure if Kenny Pickett is going to be able to be ready for opening season, for the opening game, or Dillon Gabriel. But what about Shedeur? You have Shedeur. You have Joe Flacco, and you have Shedeur, so it shouldn't be a problem. And if you wanted to, I understand if you want to bring up another quarterback just in case, I understand. But as of right now, with the numbers, we all know Shedeur is putting up the best numbers with the opportunity that he has. Now, this is why they're minimizing it, folks. He has the highest completion percentage, correct? The reason why they're minimizing it, because he's not on the first team or second team when he was doing most of the reps. That's why. Like, oh, anybody can have 70% completion against third string. That's probably what they're thinking, guys. They're not really giving him the opportunity that we thought. And typically, though, I'm not surprised, because typically late round draft picks don't really get that kind of opportunity. But this is a unique situation, because we know that he's a first round draft pick. But anyway, we're going to watch this and continue to watch it and see how it develops. And now, like I said, if it's a situation where he has to prove himself, get his lumps, I get that. But give the man he deserved the reps. He did. He earned those reps. Look what he did against the first team defense. So, but we're going to monitor the situation, and shout out to Colorado. We got a lot to talk about with that team. because they're getting ready for Georgia Tech, and I can't wait for that because football is on the way now, guys. We're in August. End of August is ready to go. But guys, I'll catch you later. Take care.